Hi there guys, welcome to this video on interpolation, and we're going to use this to find the median or quartiles. Just down here I've got percentiles for groups data. Okay, so the first thing you want to do whenever you see these is think, right, well, I need to find a cumulative frequency table, so I'm just going to write CF. So how many are in this group? Well, there's 2. Okay, so how many are less than, say, 33? We just add up, we accumulate these totals. That's not going to be new to you. Okay, so when we see the median, we've got a list of data. We've got to think, are we using discrete or are we using continuous? Now, the clue really is in the question. This question, I've ignored the blurb at the top, but it would have told me that the length of time spent on the internet has been rounded to the nearest minute. So here we have 30 to 31 minutes, 32 to 33 minutes, etc. Now that means it's continuous anyway, but also you're going to use the continuous measure when you've got grouped tables, grouped frequency tables. So to find the median, which if you haven't already realized, we write that as Q2, the second quartile. It's going to be the n over 2, it's quite difficult to say, number. So how many numbers have we got in total? What's our n value? Our n value is 70. So that means 70 divided by 2, we're looking for the 35th number. Now at GCSE you would have done exactly this, and you would have counted up, see where there's only 2 values there, there's a total of 27 values there, so we haven't found the median yet. And then you would have realised it's in this group, and you would have reported back that it's in this group. So what we're going to do now, using interpolation, is find whereabouts in this group the median actually lies. And to do that, first of all, I've got to point out that what we're going to do is assume that the spread of data is even. Okay, they're not all at the 34. We're just going to assume there's an evenly spread of data between these values. Okay, so the first thing you want to do is just draw a picture. It's basically a straight line, and I like to put in the middle, I say, well, I'm trying to find Q2, and I know that is the 35th result. Now, what else do I know? Well, I know the 35th result is somewhere between the 27th and the 57th. So I say on this end, I'll put the 27th result, and I know it's somewhere between there and there. Okay, so because I know it's in this group, on the top here, this is, the number I want to get back is somewhere in between here. So I'm going to put the lower bound and the upper bound for each group. You've got to be really careful. You can't just put 34 and 36 because, like I said at the start, this has been rounded to the nearest minute. So there might have been times, say, 33.4 minutes or 33.7 minutes, and they would have been rounded and then put in these groups. So there are times that actually exist in here. So we're going to go to the lower bound and the upper bound of this group. So to the nearest minute, that's pretty simple. Okay, so here comes the trickier part. Because we're going to assume that this value here, well, first of all I should point out, can you see I've drawn it in the middle? That's just to make my working look nicer. The 35th result is actually going to be a lot closer to this one, so maybe here, but it just all the numbers be too close. It looks pretty ugly. But we're going to assume that this is all proportional. The data is spread in proportion throughout this whole group. So just get another color. So I'm going to say that the length between here and here along this line, if we compare it to the length of the line, okay, so this distance here out of the entire distance is going to be equal to this distance here compared to that distance there. Okay, so we're saying the proportion between this length and this length is equal to this length compared to that length. Okay, so what we're going to do is say, well, how long is this length? Well, that's whatever that value is, take away that value. Out of how long this line is, well, that's 36.5, take away 33.5. So I'm basically writing a fraction for the proportion of this top line. And that's equal to the purple parts. So this length, well, that's going to be 35 take away 27, and 57 take away 27. Now, this is where you just use your calculator. So you're going to work that out, times it by this, and then add that on the end. And you'll get your median to be 34.3. And it's always worth saying, just have a look. 34.3. We were expecting it to be about there. That's good, isn't it? 34.3, much closer to that one than that one. The answer is in between those numbers. That's always worth checking. And there you go. So Q1, exactly the same. So Q1, you should know it's this number, okay? It's the total number divided by 4. It's going to tell us which number we need. So 70 divided by 4, well, that's 17.5, half of this one. So let's look at our cumulative frequency. Well, there's only 2 numbers there. Aha, 27. So we've gone past the 17.5 target. It is in this group here. So just draw a picture. Q1, I know it's a 17.5 number. I know it lies in between the 2nd and the 27th. I know it's in this group, so I'm going to do the bounds for that group. So 31.5 to 33.5. Assuming that this is evenly spread, I can write a simple proportion formula. So this length here, so Q1 take away 31.5 out of the entire length, okay, is equal to this length here, so it's going to be 17.5 take away 2 out of the entire length there. Now I do quite like to write the THs because it's a nice hint to myself that it's cumulative frequency. I'm not going to get these around the wrong way, but obviously I don't write them when I'm doing my calculation. And if you work that out, you get 32.74. And again, if you have a look, it's pretty much in the middle between them, and so is that. So it's a pretty good, check. Now you could be asked to find the third quartile and interquartile range and other things. But let's move on to percentiles. Okay, so percentile 80. So what that means is we know the 100th percentile because obviously that's a maximum. We know that's 70 people. And you've just got to find what P80 is. So a nice easy calculation, say to find the 10th percentile, divide by 10. And we could find the 80th percentile by times it by 8. So that tells me it's the 56th number along. Okay, so I'll just draw my picture again. So P80 is what I want to find. I know it's the 56th. I go up to my cumulative frequency. 27 and 57. It's definitely in between there. Well, it's going to be really close to this value, right? But I know it's in this group. So upper and lower bounds. 33.5, 36.5, and I do exactly the same calculation. And I'm just a bit conscious how long this video is, but the same proportion formula, you can try that out yourself, but you should get that to be 36.4. I will say though, so if they give you 2 percentiles, let's say they give you 30th percentile as well, they might ask you for the percentile range, and that would just be like interquartile range, but just the difference, the range between the percentiles that they've asked you to do. So don't be thrown by that wording. Okay, hope that all makes sense. Go and practice them. Good luck.